What is a Person Worth? By that engineer. Chapter 2. Squirrel Boy. Lincoln cuddled Bun Bun as he curled up under his bed sheets on the carpet floor. He was thankful his family at least left the bed attire. For all he knew, they could have sold that as well. Even so, the air conditioner of the house made the carpet a tad cold, causing the boy to shiver every once in a while. Didn't help the floor was much harder than the mattress. Since it was the weekend, the boy seriously wanted to sleep in. He was fortunate that it was Sunday, as he knew he would be forced to put on that stupid costume at some point, given that his sisters did something every day of the month. Sadly, he wouldn't be able to enjoy his moment of peace for long. A knock on the door rudely pulled Lincoln from his slumber. "Lincoln, if you want to eat breakfast, you'll need to break fast from your sleep." A hearty laugh followed. With a bad pun like that, Lincoln immediately knew who it was. "I'm not hungry, Luann," the boy moaned, trying to catch a few more Zeds. "Well then, get the sleep out of your eyes, mister. I got a birthday party that needs a clown today, and you and your luck are coming with me." Lincoln sat up. "Can I take a rain check?" "Sorry, Lincoln, but nothing's raining on this parade," Luann chuckled, causing the boy to groan in annoyance. "What if something bad happens during the act I plan today?" "Fine, give me a minute." Hearing his sister's footsteps shuffle away from his door, Lincoln lied back down. "So much for sleeping in," he muttered. Looking over at his stuffed rabbit, he gave a sigh. "Today's gonna suck, huh, Bun Bun?" He stared at the rabbit as if it'd give an answer. "Yeah, that's what I thought. Hope it's just Luann I have to be a good luck charm for today. I don't know how anything bad could happen when she's always organized when it comes to comedy." Getting out of his makeshift bed, Lincoln dragged himself over to the bin containing his day clothes. Putting on a white t-shirt and his usual jeans, he then started putting on the squirrel costume. After washing out the stench, sweat, and fluids, it was wearable at least. Lincoln growled in annoyance when he noted parts of the inside were still damp. He'd leave it to dry outside, or maybe in a dumpster. But he knew he'd end up being forced to keep it for the sake of luck. Putting the hat on, Lincoln walked out into the hall, witnessing the usual chaos that occurred on a typical weekend. Luna had speakers set up in the hall and was having a jam session. A series of explosions were occurring in Lisa and Lily's room. No doubt from the little genius herself. The baby of the family was walking around without her diaper. Again. The twins were squabbling about something. Lucy sat on the ladder to the attic, reading a book. Lenny was in the bathroom practicing the use of makeup. Lori was nowhere in sight, and Lincoln assumed she'd be in her room. Walking past the goth and sports fan's room, Lincoln saw Lynn kicking a soccer ball around. "Hey, good luck, charm," Lynn yelled. "Hey," Lincoln replied. "Funny, I don't feel lucky." The single thought that came now that he's stuck wearing the suit. "Hey, bro, I need you to come to my next gig tonight. I don't want my strings to break during my solo," Luna stated. The boy sighed. "I'll be there if I'm not busy." "Hey, Lincoln, I need you to bring your luck for my alligator wrestling tournament today," Lana yelled, her hair a bit messy. "No, I need it for my pageant today," Lolly yelled angrily, tackling her twin to the floor. "Well, I need it more," Lana retorted, pulling the princess's hair. "No, I do." Lola bit Lana's nose. A ball of violence formed as the two rolled back into their room. Lincoln rolled his eyes before knocking on Luann's door. "You done yet, Luann?" "Just putting my wig on. Just don't wig out on me," the comedian chuckled. Lincoln leaned against the door. If four of my sisters wanted to bring me along because of my supposed good luck, then who's to say the rest wouldn't? Laurie's golf tournaments, Lisa's lectures, Lenny's fashion shows, Lucy's grave digging and golf contests, and lastly, Lynn's games. In short, I would be stuck in the very situation I tried to get himself out of, only this time I'm forced to wear a silly costume. He sighed. Dang it, Lincoln. You got yourself into this. Surely you can find a way out, right? Looking around, his sisters were too preoccupied to bat an eye at him. He took the suit's head off, letting out a bit of heat. He waited cautiously for someone to tell him to put the head back on, but thankfully, no one seemed to care. Whew! At least I don't have to wear the head in the house. At that moment, Luann's door opened, causing him to fall to the floor. Hey, Link, how's the weather down there? Luann laughed. Dawn in her usual clown outfit, she carried a bag full of props she planned to use. Don't lose your head now. Plus, your luck might leak out. She chuckled again, picking up the squirrel head as Lincoln sat up. He grabs it and puts it back on. How long is this party going to be again? Only a few hours, unless you think your luck won't last that long. Might last aplenty. Now let's roll! The comedian hopped onto her unicycle and rode it down the stairs. Lincoln walked after her with a bored expression. I know I'm Luann's assistant for these type of activities, but this isn't what I had in mind. The birthday party went without a hitch. Luann's act was amazing, and the kids even thought Lincoln was a huggable mascot, earning a few pictures. For once, he was glad for wearing the suit because he was blushing in embarrassment the whole time. Nice job with the luck back there, Link. We even got a tip for making the kids happy, Luann told him as they strolled back to the house. Yeah, $10 is good, I guess, Lincoln replied sarcastically. Mind if I pop the head? I'm sweating in this thing. Sure, just don't be such a sweater. This earned another chuckle. Lincoln could have given an approving laugh, but he was too hot to care right now. He popped the head off and gave an exasperated sigh. They were walking past Mr. Grouse's house at this point. Nice costume, Loud. Lincoln gave him an annoyed look. Whatever. Maybe when I get inside I can finally... Lincoln! Dang it. Lana ran up to him with a set of rope in her hands. Come on! Dad's taking us to my alligator wrestling! The little tomboy grabbed his hand and started dragging him to Vanzilla. Clearly, she won her fight with Lola. And just as Lincoln thought it already began, his sisters were once again dragging him to their activities. During Lana's tournament, she was doing fairly well against an adolescent gator. The 11-year-old was surprised that his little sister could handle such a dangerous reptile. Not even El Diablo was that big. She had the mouth wrapped shut, but she still needed to immobilize her prey. Once again, the spring heat was getting to him, forcing some much-needed ventilation. The oddest thing occurred, though. As soon as he popped the suit's head off, the gator managed to wiggle the rope on its snout just enough to make it come loose. Now the enraged gator took off after the 6-year-old, forcing her to dodge. She wondered how it could have gotten its mouth free. Maybe I didn't tie it tight enough. Lana looked over and saw Lincoln without his suit head on. Lincoln, put your head back on! Your luck is leaking! The boy did as instructed, so he didn't have to witness his sister get torn to pieces. Lana whirled around and dodged to the side as the gator ran past her. She jumped on Iz's back and held the top of its mouth down. The reptile rolled in an attempt to shake her off, but the girl held her grip and tightened his jaws shut with more rope. She still managed to get a few seconds left to win. Thinking quick, she jumped off the gator and waited until it rolled onto its back before successfully managing to hog-tie it. I am a winner by a half second, loud. I'm so proud of you, honey. Lynn Sr. hugged his daughter. And thank you, Lincoln, for bringing the heavy artillery. Thanks, Dad, I guess, the boy replied. While the two went to get Lana's trophy, Lincoln was rather stumped. That's the second time something bad almost happened when he takes part of the suit off, though both times something only happened to Lana. Maybe I am good luck, at least around Lana. But then again, there was that sign I saw at the beach. Plus her knot didn't look to be as tight on that alligator. Either this is actual luck or sheer coincidence. Not like I get much of a say out of it anyways. Lincoln walked off to find his dad and sister, but as luck would have it, disaster struck. Gator loose! Gator loose! Someone yelled. Lincoln turned and saw that one of the big adult gators managed to get out of its pen, and boy, was it angry. It snapped its jaws at whoever it saw, and before spotting Lincoln, instead of a human, all it saw was a large squirrel. Normally the gator wouldn't eat squirrels as they were very little and did not offer much nourishment. But a human-sized squirrel? Now that was something that could keep it fed for a few days. Lincoln felt his blood run cold as the massive predator ran towards him. He did the only logical thing in this circumstance, scream and run. The boy ran as fast as his legs can carry him, but he was nowhere close to be as quick as Lynn. Didn't help that he was still sweltering in the heat, which was making him a bit tired. He didn't know gators could move quick on land, because the next thing he knew, he fell face first into the dirt as something gripped the tail of the suit. He screamed in fear as the gator shook him like a rag doll, a tearing sound being heard as the tail was being shredded and getting close to being ripped off at the base. The boy desperately tried to grip the ground for leverage, but the hands of the suit weren't exactly made for holding objects. Somebody help me! Lincoln yelled, hoping someone heard his pleas. Unfortunately, no one seemed to. A loud ripping sound was heard as the base of the tail got ripped off, sending Lincoln flying a couple feet. The mascot's head fell off when he landed, stunning him. The gator was a bit confused as to why it couldn't taste any meat in the tail, before eventually realizing it was a fake. Seeing Lincoln's head, it soon realized it was just another human, one smaller than most of the others it had seen. Surely it wouldn't put up much of a fight. Lincoln's pupils shrank as the gator closed in on him. He could have ran, but he was too tired and too afraid to move. Before the gator could charge him, someone landed on the gator's back, causing it to buckle in surprise. Lana held on to the gator the best she could. Get away from my brother, you meanie! The gator turned its head and tried and snap at the young girl, but this gave her an opportunity to wrap its mouth shut with some rope. Like the younger gator before it, it then tried to do a death roll to make the tomboy fall off. But she used the same trick as before and managed to subdue the beast. Lana ran up to Lincoln and hugged him tight. You okay, bro? Yeah, I'm fine, Lincoln replied hesitantly, trying to shake off the shock of almost getting eaten. Thanks for the save. I really owe you one. Well, duh. I couldn't let my good luck charm get hurt, could I? Lana laughed. Lincoln's heart sank when she referred to him as a charm. Lynn Sr. ran up to him. Are you okay, son? Yeah, Dad, Is your suit okay? Wait, what? The boy's heart sank even further as he looked at his father in disbelief. The tail got chewed off and tore pretty bad, Dad, Lana stated, looking at the aft end of the costume. Quick, we gotta get you guys home before something bad happens, and sew that tail back on, Lynn Sr. said in panic. Lana picked up the torn piece of fabric and the head of the suit while the father carried his son back to the car. The entire time, Lincoln just kept a stunned look on his face. When the trio got home, Lincoln was immediately stripped from his suit as Lenny and Lola worked to get the tail stitched back on. While it felt good to be out of his own sweat once again, Lincoln felt some serious pangs in his heart. It felt as if they cared more about the suit than a boy who just stared death in the face not 20 minutes ago. Lincoln wasn't even sure what to think about this, and he couldn't enjoy his short taste of freedom because of it. He later had to put the suit back on as he still needed to attend Luna's little concert. Luna may have had a fun time, but Lincoln sure didn't. Being a kid in a place full of adults was rather creepy, to put it lightly. Not only that, but someone who was drunk out of their minds tried to hit on him, mistaking the costume as a walking sex doll. Thankfully, Chuck put an end to that before something could have happened to make this story rated M for mature. Needless to say, Lincoln was still disturbed from the affair. Home seemed like the safest place to be for him right now as he and Luna returned. "Thanks for coming with me, bro. I'm sorry about Please, please let's not talk about it. You gonna be okay?" "I'll manage," the boy answered, his uneasiness ever so clear. It was dinner time, but Lincoln was understandably not hungry. He quickly ran up the stairs and locked himself in his room. He threw the head off and unzipped the back of the suit before throwing it across the room. At this point, he was hyperventilating, and quickly grabbing a paper bag, he breathed in and out of it in an attempt to calm his nerves. After a few minutes, it worked. Lincoln undid his pants before flopping down on his bed sheets, not caring about the pain that occurred when he impacted the floor. He grabbed Bonbon and held the plush rabbit tight. "Today was worse than I thought, Bonbon. It was horrible! My sisters may have had a good time at their events, but I'm certainly not having a good time. If I have to keep wearing that suit to their events, I might go crazy. If something doesn't kill me first." Lincoln shivered, remembering the incident with the gator. "At least we have school tomorrow. They wouldn't make me wear that thing and embarrass myself. Right?"